Greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
What up?
What up with you? I tell you what's up. I miss New Orleans.
I do too. It's been, 2 years now since we've been?
Yeah,
Maybe even
actually,
longer than that.
The last time we were supposed to go is when COVID started.
That's right. We were supposed to go for your sister's birthday, which is
right.
in March.
Yep, that's right when COVID started. Right when they.
But had we been there the December before? Did we go in 2019? I think we missed that December for some reason. Because after 13 of us had spent the night in her house, we were like, we need a break.
But anyway, Jill, what are we going to talk? What's our topic for today?
Well, that segues into our topic is places we want to go.
Places we want to go.
It's part of a segment that we call
Stand by Your Stance.
Where do you want to go?
There's so many places I want to go, but you're in charge of the list of places we want to go.
I don't have my list in front of me.
But one place, well, you have so many. I would sure we wouldn't have a problem filling this episode with places we want to go. And I want to start with first I'm going to mention some of our listeners. So there's Dennis and Mary. I want to be just like them when I grow up.
Yes, they are our travel heroes.
They're world travelers.
And sheroes.
Yes. So, I want to follow in their
Yes, there's probably very few places on our list that they haven't been. There's probably very few.
So, So the first place I want you to take me, because you don't take me anywhere. I take you many places, but you don't take me anywhere. So I want to go to Paris.
Okay.
I really do want to go to Paris so I can buy a loaf of French bread and eat it walking down the street.
I keep telling you that's not what happens in Paris.
I don't care. That's what I want to do.
That
because
just screams
I love
tourists. You don't like being a tourist.
I bet you you don't see any tourists eating bread walking down the street. I'll be the only one.
And that's good to you?
That is good to me.
That would be a source of pride for you?
I love bread.
You do love bread. But
I love
don't
French
understand
bread.
why you have to eat it walking down the streets of Paris.
I'll tell you what, because in New York, they have really good Italian bread in New York. And as we all know, I grew up in New York. And even after I left New York, I used to go to New York like every week. And I would stop at a grocery store at like 3:00 in the morning that was open, like a 24-hour grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And the bread, all the Italian bread, was still warm. That came from the bakery, not made in the store. It's a real French bread that came from the bakery.
You just said Italian.
Italian bread. I'm sorry. Yes. Italian bread. And I could still get it, when it was warm. So I would get, a loaf of Italian bread and just start eating it like popcorn. Like when you have popcorn in a little cup, I would eat my Italian bread just like that. I loved it.
Walking down the streets of New York?
No, while I was driving.
Oh, and this is how you became a breadhead.
I was a breadhead before that.
You were?
I always loved bread. Bread is like, if they sent me to prison and they just said bread and water, I would say, okay. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
My mother will tell you that she used to have to, if we went like to McDonald's or some fast food restaurant, I liked burgers, but I liked it plain, and I didn't want bread. I would take it off the bread every time.
Off the bread.
So I was like 6 years old before I would actually eat bread. So I still don't like bread that much. It has to be a certain type of bread, and most of the time it has to be toasted.
Okay, so France. Want to go to France?
Okay.
I want to go to Sweden.
Okay.
Do we want to go to Sweden? I want to go to the Cannes Film Festival specifically.
That's in France.
Yep, I know. I do want to.
I've been there, but not during the festival.
Yeah, I want to go during the film festival. So many places I want to go. There's a lot of places in this country that I want to go. I want to go to the Grand Canyon.
We've been to
because
the Grand Canyon.
we have never been to the Grand Canyon.
Well, we were by the Grand
Oh,
Canyon.
that's different.
We saw the Grand
I
Canyon.
have driven past the Grand Canyon more times than I can remember. I have flown over the Grand Canyon, but I have never gone specifically to the Grand Canyon. I want to go. I want to go. I want to
Okay.
go. I want to go.
Okay.
I definitely want to go.
All right.
I
Well,
really
can I
do.
tell you where I would like to go?
Sure, I'm waiting. Come
Well-
on, let's go.
Well, the number one place on my list is Zimbabwe, since I'm half Zimbabwean and I've never been there.
Yeah, and you have like 14 acres there. You own
You keep
land.
adding acres. It's 10. Only 10.
10, 14. What's the difference?
4 acres.
what's the difference?
That's the
It's
difference.
acreage.
It's 10.
I would like to see the land at least once.
That's-
Yeah, so I do
that's-
want to go to
No,
Zimbabwe.
I want to go because to me that's a homecoming, since I'm half Zimbabwean. So Bertha has been planning a trip
Yeah,
there
it's going to be
this
interesting
year, actually.
because you'll fit right in and I won't.
They'll embrace you too. Everybody embraces
They'll
you.
look at me and say, he's definitely not a Masoni.
Well, that's what people say about me. That they look at me like, oh, she married into the Cordova family, for sure. So Zimbabwe is number one on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Paris twice, but I would like to go back.
And will you take me with you?
Yes,
Please?
sweetheart.
Thank
It's been
you.
a long time since I've taken a trip without you. It's been a long time.
Okay.
Let's see. Where else would I would like to go? I would like to go to the Maldives.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
Ah.
Because I really like water. You like water.
I like water too. Wasn't on my I want to go to Maui. No, not Maui. I can go to Maui. I want to go to Tahiti. That's where
Okay. I would like to go to Tahiti.
I want to go to Tahiti.
Tahiti, Costa Rica, Greece.
Greece would be nice.
Dubai. The commercials about Qatar look interesting, except
but-
for the little Disney things they have on it.
Jill, this is a podcast. We need to do better than you just saying you want to go to these places. We need to know why.
Water.
That's it. There's water everywhere. Come on.
No, there's not water everywhere.
There's
we
water
are in a
everywhere.
landlocked place.
You can walk into the bathroom and turn on water.
That's not the same
Okay.
as the
There's
blue
why?
oceans.
So why that water?
Well, for the listeners who don't know, and a reminder to you, in undergrad, my actual major was not journalism like everybody thinks. That was my minor.
Really?
My major was international studies because I've always been interested in people, other cultures, which begs to think that maybe I should have majored in anthropology. But international studies was what I really wanted to pursue, and I did. Because at one point I wanted to be a translator, and at one point I wanted to be a foreign correspondent, neither of which I've actively pursued. But international studies makes me I love going to places where it's different and I can learn about another culture, another heritage. I love that.
I'm glad you brought up another culture. Because I want to go to India.
Me too.
Which is not on a lot of people's list, but it's
No.
on my list.
It's on our list.
It's on my list.
Oh, so you're going to go there without me?
No.
Is that what you're
No,
planning?
you can come with me.
Oh, thanks.
It's
Gee,
on my
thanks.
list. That was my list.
It was on my list too.
No, not till it was on my list.
That's not true.
It was copycat.
That's not true.
Copycat.
That's not true because I knew
Copycat.
people from India, so I wanted to go.
Yeah. So I want to go to India specifically to learn the culture and see their caste system in action.
Well, they would say we already see it in action here. Very similar. We have a caste system too.
Yeah, but it's
more pronounced
it's
there,
more
and
pronounced
everybody
there.
is aware.
Everybody's aware of it, and everybody not everybody, but many people accept it and stay in their spot.
Well, when I used to relax and would straighten my hair, many East Indians thought I was East Indian, and they would
Mm-hmm.
speak to me and get mad at me for not understanding what they were saying to me.
Yep.
So that made me, so long before I met you, that made me want to go there and see the kind of response I would get.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Because as far as I know, uh, my people come from uh, Cuba.
So is that on your list still?
It's still on my list. I still want to go to Cuba, and I have the same problem because I was born here. My father didn't speak Spanish because he was also born here, and his father just ran off when he was 9 years old or so. So he didn't. His father spoke Spanish, but he didn't learn to speak Spanish from his father. He wasn't around much, and his father back in those days, if you came from another country, uh, you put a big effort into assimilating.
Right.
So even people that came from other countries would say, "Speak English, speak English."
Right.
But I don't speak Spanish,
Would you
and
like to learn Spanish?
yes, and I have tried several times. I have many Spanish words spinning around in my head, but
But
I still don't speak, real fluent Spanish. My daughter speaks better Spanish than I do, but the issue I have is like you said, people get mad with you, and people get mad with me
for not
um,
knowing
for
Spanish.
not knowing Spanish and I have a Spanish name.
Right.
Um, so I just want to go to Cuba.
Well, speaking
And
of,
for people that tell me, "Hey, why don't you speak Spanish?" I can say, "Teach me,
yes, yes.
teach
And
me."
well, speaking of languages, because I was an international studies major, my undergrad school required all people who majored in that to spend a semester abroad. And I had studied French, but because I didn't really care for the chair of the French department, I decided to go someplace else. So I spent 3 months in Italy and 3 months in London. And the requirement was that while we were in Italy, we had to live with an Italian family
Mm-hmm.
and we had to take Italian while we were there, which I'd never taken
Right.
Italian lessons. But because my family did not speak that they paired me with did not speak English, immersing yourself in a language and a culture, every day, I became fluent in
Mm-hmm.
Italian. I could definitely carry on conversations with Italian people while I was there, no problem. And I understood what they were saying, and sometimes I would even translate between English and Italian.
Oh, tell me you love me. I want to hear it.
Ti amo?
Ti amo.
I don't know. I don't remember. That sounds right. Uh, Sounds right. I don't remember. But because, when I was no longer in Italy where I had to speak the
You
language,
didn't use it.
I didn't use it, so I lost it. But, that whole experience, spending 6 months in Europe taught me how ugly Americans can be when they're in someone else's country.
Yeah.
I was astounded.
Americans
It
are pretty
really,
arrogant.
yes, it
I
was
know I'm an
really
American,
horrible.
but whenever we go out of the country, we do not act arrogant.
No, we really
Never.
tried
Ever.
to respect and honor the and learn about, the local heritage.
Yes, and it makes our experience better.
Yes, it does. Because even when we went to Hawaii in December, Hawaii is, part of
United
the
States.
US. It's one of the states, but the culture is very different.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like we were in another country. Especially as long as it took us to get there. I felt like I had flown to a different country. But you and I are very non-touristy kind of people, even when we go someplace new.
Right.
So we find the locals and we talked to them and we learned things.
Yep, that is true.
So that, to me, that was the highlight of our trip, more so than the touristy things that we did.
Yeah. Have anything else on your list? I'm sure you do. You have a long list.
But I don't have it in front of me, so I can't remember every place.
Well, in the meantime, I'll talk about things within this country, because we really do have a really beautiful country. It's vast.
Yes.
So, and I've been all over this country.
Yes, you have. There are very few states that you haven't been to.
The only state I haven't been to is Alaska. And I want to go to Alaska.
And for me, the only part of the country, I haven't been to Alaska either, but I haven't been to the Pacific Northwest either. For some reason, that's the only region that I've never spent time in.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's part of why, we wanted to get a RV so we can go to all the places I never had time to stop at and check out.
Yes.
Be nice.
And you have banned me from going to certain places again.
Yeah, you can't.
Although, I don't really pay attention to you forbidding me to do something.
You cannot go to the Sundance Film Festival
Well,
anymore.
I have been 3 times, so I'm okay with that. But tell the listeners why you think you've banned me.
Because you can't hang with the cold weather.
But I went 3 times before I ever had a problem. I didn't have a problem until I went with you.
You didn't go with
and your sister.
You didn't go with New Yorkers that are more. Because
y'all are crazy. Y'all are on a different level, I think. Because I had gone twice, no issue at all.
No issue. Yeah,
I go once with you all, and I come back with not 1 but 2 respiratory conditions that by the time I did go to the doctor, she was mad at me because she said, if you had come to me, or any doctor when you were at your worst, you definitely would have been in the hospital.
Yeah, but I didn't.
But who wants to be in the hospital?
Yeah, well, you didn't even know you were at. You didn't even know you were at Park City anymore.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. I
don't know how I got home, but I knew I was in Park City.
You had a temperature of like 104.2. And you got delirious.
Well, I don't remember that.
And I know.
I don't remember how I got home, but I knew I was in Park City.
I put you in a bathtub with cold water to bring
I definitely don't remember that. I do not remember that at all.
I know. This is why you can't go to the Sundance Film Festival again.
No, I just won't go with New Yorkers.
I'm a former New Yorker.
Okay.
You can't go. You can't
Or I'll
hang.
do what I normally do. You know what I normally do when I go to Sundance? Besides
what?
see a few movies. I'll see a few movies because that's what you do at Sundance, right?
Uh-huh.
But for the most part, I'll stay in where it's warm. I'll have hot chocolate. And I might even have a book or just watch the skiers on the slopes, like go to the ski lodge, but stay inside and just watch all the, crazy people outside and in the cold weather going down hills, and falling, most of them. But, so that was great entertainment for me. But for some reason, when I was with you all, I was out all the time.
Because we walked to places instead of, we were like, the bus, the shuttle, no, that'll take too long. The place is only a mile away. Come on, let's go.
I'm not opposed to walking, but
and
I guess it was
14 degrees out, but it felt good, because it's dry cold.
It is a dry cold.
Yeah,
so I thought I could handle it because, I lived in Minnesota for 4 years.
Yeah, no,
but
you couldn't hang.
But
Sorry.
no, I couldn't because I ended up with not one. It was all of a sudden too, because I had met some female who ended up at all the movies I did. So we realized we had the same taste in movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was supposed to meet up with her. And then all of a sudden I was like, I don't feel well. And then the next thing I know, I'm back home and I don't know how I got there.
Yeah, you were done.
So is there some place that you have been that you will not go to again or don't want to go to again?
Yeah, probably.
But none comes to mind.
Probably a lot of. Well, here's an attraction that's actually close to us. Rock City It's up in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Now we did go there, but we also did the cave thing. You see the when we went to see the
Yes.
cave in the waterfall.
Which is funny
No.
because every time I see a picture from that, I'm like, what cave was that? I grew up at Mammoth Cave. So in my mind, it should be Mammoth Cave. So I always forget that there's a cave there. And
Yes.
that's where we were.
And so that is actually the first like real cave I've been in.
Oh, I should definitely take you to Mammoth Cave.
And yes, you should. You've been promising me for years. So anyway, I discovered something about myself.
That you don't like caves?
I might be a little claustrophobic. I've never been in an area
that
where
one was
like
a little tight. But the Mammoth Cave, the main tour,
it's big.
It's big and spacious, and you don't have to crouch down for anything.
Yeah, that cave. So. If you were a really big person, you may not have been able to.
Well, they even had guidelines of what weight you had to be before they would even let you in. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because you could get stuck.
Yep.
So I felt a little claustrophobic. All of that rock over me. What if it caved in?
So how did you feel when we were in Hawaii and there was like a little tunnel-like cave?
I was fine with that because I was outside. It was a man-made tunnel.
Yeah,
it's a little different.
But I won't hike that again. That's a little too steep for me. I didn't like that.
You won't hike. Oh, which one though? That wasn't as steep as the spot I took you to.
Well, the second spot that I told you about, that was really treacherous steep, because it was raining so hard, and you really could slide and kill yourself. Because I knew we were in trouble when the people behind us. She was talking, or the person behind us, she was telling her friend, yeah, my friend comes and he's an Olympian and he practices his cliff diving from here. I was like, wow, we really are in the wrong spot then. You can practice cliff diving where we are.
Yeah, that was fun. I would like to go back to Hawaii.
Oh, yes, me too. But see different parts than where we were.
Yeah, so there, but
but Paris is your number one destination.
I don't think I have a number one.
Zimbabwe is my number one.
Oh, not mine, not number one. But I do want to.
Don't say that to any Musoni.
It's not my number one spot.
Don't say that to any Musoni.
It's not my number one spot. It's not.
I hope they're not listening.
Many places are my number one spot. A lot of places I'd love to go.
Only one place can be your number one spot.
No.
That makes it number one.
I don't have a number one.
Well, mine is Zimbabwe.
Maybe moon. I want to go to the moon. That's my number one.
Oh, so if you're really rich, we could get you a trip.
No, I don't.
A 10-minute ride.
I don't really want to go to the moon. I would like to go to space, though, for a little bit, just a little bit.
To do what?
Just be in space. It's amazing. It's amazing, weightlessness. To see the Earth from space.
So you would go on one of these trips that rich people can go on now?
Absolutely.
Or it's like a 10-minute ride, and then they come right back?
Absolutely. I would want a longer ride, but yes. Yes. Yeah, I would. I would like it. I want to go. Well, it's not a destination, but I want to get my scuba certification. That would be nice. But that's not a destination.
I didn't really like snorkeling. I love the water. I love being in the water. As you know, I'm like a little kid. It's hard to get me out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I did not like snorkeling.
Interesting.
I almost felt like I was like a home invader of fish. Like, this is their land, their house.
What other places do you want to go, Jill? What else you have?
Let's see.
I'd love to hear.
South Africa.
Okay, cool. South Africa's cool. Good.
I should look at my globe.
There's your globe right there. I'll give you. Yeah, grab it. Get it. It's right there. Grab it. Put it in front of us.
It's gonna make a lot
And we
of
can start
noise.
choosing. Just grab it, get it. Let's see what we have. Audience, if you hear stuff crashing around and stuff, that's what Jill does. Things are crashing and everything else. Oh yeah.
Oh, China.
I want to go to China too. Why do you want to go to China?
I don't know. I just want to go.
That's it.
I want to go to Panama.
Yeah, I want to go too. I do. I do. You know, actually, looking at a globe, I may never make it to half the places I want to go. It's like insane. It really is. I'd like to go to Brazil with you. I definitely want to go
Good.
with you.
Good.
I don't want to go to Brazil with a bunch of guys.
That would be good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're saying that.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about Colombia too.
Colombia. Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, there's not. I don't want to go to Russia.
I don't want to go to Russia, and
I don't want to go to Russia.
I have no desire to go to Australia either. I don't know why, but I don't.
I could understand that. But
Well,
but wait.
It's time.
But wait. I want to ask our listeners, please, if you've been to Russia, please let us know whether you liked it or not.
One of my friends has been to Russia.
No, I know several people have been to
And
Russia
South
also,
Korea.
but Russia. I just want to know what their take is on Russia.
Okay. Well, let's get to our second segment that we call
Give it a rest and a resolution.
You have any conclusion? I guess this is more of a resolution.
Is this a resolution?
This is a resolution.
What's the resolution?
When it's safe to do so, we should go at least once a year to one of the places on our list.
Yeah.
When it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
Because, I don't even go outside my house.
That'll be nice. But quite often it's very expensive to get to these places and stay.
I know. So you need to make a lot of money.
What if you don't have a lot of money? So when you don't have a lot of money to go to all the places in the world you want to go to some places in the United States.
That's true.
You might find it very interesting. Even just places
even a day trip.
A day trip, because we have done that.
Mm-hmm.
When budgets are tight and all that, we've just gone on day trips.
Yep.
Which are nice.
That is nice.
Places we never would have seen in Georgia even. Yeah,
that's true.
A lot of stuff.
Well, let's get to our third segment that we call
I'm trying to help you.
Advice.
If you wish to go to many different places in the world, other countries, do it. Even though I said money can be an issue, I have a friend of mine that decides where he wants to go well in advance, and he puts aside a certain amount of money until he has enough money to go to that place. So, put it on the list. Make a savings account just for that trip, and you will eventually get there.
That's good advice. My advice would be, even if you don't have a desire to go someplace else, and because it increases your knowledge and exposure. But when you learn about a different culture, please respect it.
Yo, that is really a good one, Jill. Yes, absolutely. And your experience there will be better.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Respect the people.
Yes. And their rituals and their beliefs.
And their culture. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, our last segment. It's time for our last segment that we call.
So,
what do you think? What do you think? Because I'm right.
Because I'm right. All right. Well, we really do want to hear from you listeners. And that number is 404-594-2247.
And Mary and Dennis, I know you're listening. So let us know what your favorite places have been that you have been to. What's been your number one on the list that you've already done?
I think I know. I think they've told us. I think they've told us.
It may have changed.
It may have changed.
Well, it's time for us to wrap up. You've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm Right.
I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
Shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music, Nick Zinke for the art, and to you two listeners. We're still in it. We're still here.
That's right, and we love you all.
We love you.
And I've noticed just now that our last episodes, we just agree. We've been agreeing all the time.
It won't last.
I'm ready to disagree with you on something.
It won't
Jill.
last. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you all. Bye.